बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज हम बात करेंगे कि वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट क्या है और किस कलर की बास्केट के अंदर कौन सा मटेरियल आप वेस्ट करेंगे। तो सबसे पहले हम इसको डिस्कस करते हैं कि हेल्थ केयर वेस्ट क्या होती हैं। इस पे हम बात करते हैं। 5 पॉइंट हैं इसके। नंबर 1 ये है कि टोटल अमाउंट of waste generated by the healthcare activity about 85% is general non hazardous waste। ठीक है जी। तो 85% जो वेस्ट हैं वो ख़तरनाक नहीं होती जी। रिमेनिंग 15% इज कंसिडर्ड हैजर्डस मटेरियल दैट में बी इन्फेक्शन टॉक्सिन एंड रेडियोएक्टिव। नंबर 3 पे एवरी ईयर एन एस्टिमेटेड 16 बिलियन इंजेक्शंस आर administered worldwide, but not all of the needles and syringes are properly disposed of afterward. Number 3, open burning and incineration of the healthcare waste can, under some circumstances, result in the emission of dioxin, furans, and particulate matters. Number 5, measures to ensure the safe and environmentally sound management of the healthcare waste can prevent adverse health and environmental impact from such waste include the unintended release of chemical or biological hazards, including drug-resistant microorganisms into the environment, thus protect the health of the patient, health worker, and the general public. Let us see type of waste. Waste and byproducts cover a diverse range of materials as the following list illustrated. Infection waste, waste contaminated with blood and other body fluids from the discharging discarded diagnostic sample. Culture and stock of infection agent from laboratory work, or waste from patients with infections, which are swabs, bandages, and disposable material, etc. And number 2, pathological waste, human tissues, organ or fluid, body parts, and contaminated animal carcasses. And number 3, sharp waste, syringes, needle, disposables, scalpels, and blade, etc. Number 4, chemical waste, for example, solvent and reagent used for laboratory preparations, disinfectant, sterilization, and heavy metals contained in medical devices. Uh, for example, mercury in broken thermometer and batteries. Next, pharmaceutical waste, expired, unused, and contaminated drugs and vaccines. Cytotoxic waste containing substances with genotoxic properties, which are used for chemotherapy in carcinoma patients. Radioactive waste, such as product contaminated by radionucleic, includes radioactive diagnostic material or radiotherapeutical material. Non-hazardous are general waste, waste that does not pose any particular biological, chemical, radioactive, and physical hazards. The major source of healthcare waste are hospital and other health facilities, and research centers, mortal autopsy centers, animal research and testing laboratory, blood banks and collection services, nursing home for the elderly. High income countries generated on average up to 0.5 kg of hazardous waste per hospital bed per day, while low income countries generate on average 0.2 kg. However, healthcare waste is often not separated into hazardous or non-hazardous waste in low-income countries, making the real quantity of hazardous waste much higher. The next point is what is the health risk? Healthcare waste contain potentially harmful microorganisms that can infect hospital patients, health worker, and general public. Other potential hazards may include drug-resistant microorganisms which spread from health facility into the environment. Adverse health outcomes associated with healthcare waste and byproducts also include sharp infected injuries, toxic exposure to pharmaceutical products, in particular antibiotics and cytotoxic drugs released into the surrounding environment, and to substances such as mercury or toxins. Drugs to handle are increasing of healthcare waste. Chemical burns rising in the context of disinfection, sterilization, or waste treatment activities. Air pollution arising as a result of the releasing of the particulate matter during medical waste incineration. Thermal injuries occurring in conjunction with open burning and the operation of medical waste, incinerator, and radiation burns. Sharps related worldwide, an estimated 16 billion injections are administered every year. Not all needles dispose of severely, creating the risk of injury and infection opportunities for reuse. Injections with contaminated needles and syringes in low and middle income countries have reduced substantially in recent years, partly due to effort to reduce reuse of injections devices. Despite this progress, in 2010, unsafe injections were still responsible for as many as 33,800 new HIV infections, 1.7 million hepatitis B infections, and 315,000 hepatitis C infections. A person who experiences one needle stick injury from a needle used on an infection-associated patient has risk of 30%, 1.8%, and 0.3% respectively of the become infection with HBV, HCV, and HIV. In 2015, a joint WHO-UNICEF assessment found that just over half, 58% of the sample facilities from 24 countries had adequate system in place for the safe disposal of healthcare waste. At the last, now I am going to describe the color coding for hospital waste. Color coding is one of the many systems in place within healthcare facility to reduce the risk of injury, maintain compliance with biomedical waste, and keep medical waste disposal cost low. What are the different type of medical waste? The main different type of biomedical waste include biohazards waste, sharp waste, pathological waste, chemotherapy waste, and hazardous waste. Importance of the color coding. Color coding your biomedical waste containers has the following benefits: reduce risk of injury to healthcare staff, making segregation of the medical waste easier, ensure waste streams are treated properly, keeps medical waste disposal cost affordable. Um, let's see. Medical hazard waste color. The following is the most common for hazardous waste color. Number one, red. Red being represent biohazard material or dangerous material. This is the one of the main reason that biohazard waste is referred to red bag waste. This is any medical waste that has been contaminated with blood or other potentially infection material. Number one, blood and blood products. Number two, body fluids contaminated with blood. Number three, sharp waste like scissor, cutter, scalpels, etc. Personal protective equipment (PPE) that come into contact with blood or other potentially infection material. And these are disposed into a red basket. And number two, yellow containers are for trace amount of chemotherapy waste. This can be any medical waste that come into contact with chemotherapeutical agent. Yellow bins are lined with a yellow bag and should be clearly labeled as chemo waste. PPE that come into contact with chemotherapeutical agents, IV bags or tubing using in the administration of chemotherapy drugs. And number three, sharp ways involved into chemotherapy treatment. In waste or you will be wasted into the yellow buckets. Number three, blue container are for non-hazardous pharmaceutical waste. This is any prescription or over the container drug that goes unused. It is a good idea to use a sequestration devices which prevents unauthorized access to pharmaceutical waste. Number one, pills. Number two, injectable. Number three, antibiotics. These are waste in blue buckets. Number four, black bin represent hazardous waste. Hazardous waste is any waste with the following characteristics: corrosivity, reactivity or toxicity. Hazardous pharmaceuticals, certain cleaning solvent, radioactive waste. Use black buckets. And there is blue basket are used for all type of glass bottles and articles, outcared and discarded medicines. And also green basket is used offices, stationery, disposable paper, cups, tissues, paper used for domestic purpose, kitchen waste, etc. Thank you very much. To see all the video, subscribe my channel and click the bell icon. Take care of yourself and wait for next video. Allah Hafiz. In this video you can see all baskets have shopping bag applied to easily remove the waste from the basket.